Democrats grip the knife. Inside the cake, the color of their 2028 campaign, a rebirth they hope will turn America blue. What's rising in the oven? Is it a progressive surge fueled by fury and faith, ready to break the system before it breaks everyone else? Is it centrist return, steady hands, quiet deals, a gamble that the middle still holds, or something no one sees coming? Before the knife cuts, let's check the recipe. They've inspired before. FDR's New Deal put millions to work. It set minimum wage, overtime pay, and ended child labor. Social Security provided a safety net for the elderly and unemployed.
Which will give some measure of protection to the average citizen and to his family against the loss of a job and against poverty-stricken old age.
There was JFK's moonshot, a bold push for the stars that sparked scientific advancement, transforming room-sized machines into today's smartphones.
And the moon and the planets are there, and new hopes for knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
Yes, we can. She was there for the buses in Montgomery, the hoses in Birmingham, a bridge in Selma, and a preacher from Atlanta who told the people that we shall overcome. Yes, we can.
But not all of the party's history inspires trust.
The party that you backed controls 2/3 of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and still they can't keep their promise to you.
Anemoia is nostalgia for a past you've never actually known. For Gen Z, the last flashy Democratic win they remember was Obamacare. They were barely teenagers. Now, nearing 30, it's a faded memory. By 2016, they were ready to participate. Bernie Sanders stormed the stage, Medicare for all, student debt relief, climate justice. Young people were inspired. Twice they surged. Twice the party chose a different path.
I want to bring before this convention the names of our parents, Eli Sanders and Dorothy Glassberg Sanders. They loved the New Deal of Franklin Roosevelt, and we'll be especially proud that Bernard is renewing that vision. It is with enormous pride that I cast my vote for Bernie Sanders.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigned following the release of nearly 20,000 emails revealing how the Democratic Party favored Hillary Clinton and worked behind the scenes to discredit and defeat Bernie Sanders.
When Sanders gave the nod to Hillary, then Joe, for some, it felt like betrayal dressed as unity.
And we have got to elect Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine.
Bernie's not a Democrat. And that's not a slam. That's what he says himself. And I think a lot of what he churned up in the primary campaign was very hurtful in the general election against me.
Party disunity isn't the only scar. For many, the American dream lies in ash. The fire sparked and fueled by Republicans and Democrats, centrists and progressives alike. The crack epidemic gutted neighborhoods. Washington chose prisons over recovery. Factories closed, jobs shipped out, evictions stacked up while Wall Street got bailed out. Now voters ask, will 2028 birth a party worth the fight? Rebirth number 1, progressive revolution. Universal health care, realistic housing opportunities for every family, a party that rises as the people's shield. The hunger's there, crowds chant for it, streets hum with it. FDR turned vision into reality. It could happen again. Bernie proved it. Millions from small donors, no fancy suits needed. The tank's full, they're ready to go. But the system wasn't built for radical change, and it fights back. Big donors scatter. Progressives may cheer the break, but the old guard will resist. Not just for the money, but the power that money buys. Delegates, rules, backroom sway, they won't let go without a war. Meanwhile, many swing state voters may cringe at policies framed as tax-heavy gambles. Not to mention the fact that progressives have many popular ideas, but can they agree on how to deliver? Big goals need blueprints, not just bullhorns. Number 2, centrist stability. Play it safe, the centrist classic. Steady hands, quiet wins, a bridge to the middle.
All of those things require me to be more than just an AOC. I can't do what she does because we live in a purple state and I'm a pragmatist. I gotta save things for my people.
Clinton's 90s playbook cut the deficit, signed trade deals, trimmed welfare, got tough on crime. Inflation cooled, jobs boomed, for millions paychecks stretched further, even as factory floors emptied.
They're a new generation of Democrats, Bill Clinton and Al Gore, and they don't think the way the old Democratic Party did. They've called for an end to welfare as we know it, so welfare can be a second chance, not a way of life. They've sent a strong signal to criminals by supporting the death penalty, and they've rejected the old tax and spend politics. Clinton's balanced 12 budgets, and they've proposed a new plan investing in people, detailing $140 billion in spending cuts they'd make right now.
It polls where it counts, older voters who prize calm, luring Republicans who nod at lean budgets and free markets. During the Clinton era, college grads bought first homes. Retirement accounts swelled. Clinton swept red states twice, the maths held before. But the centrist legacy is no torch for the restless, too tame, too tied to old wounds. And still, the question hangs, will they fight for their voters or just cling to power? Rebirth number 3, unification. Not left, not right. Forward, without forgetting who's been left behind.
But back in the day, the way Democrats held the coalition together was to say you might agree on this social issue or disagree on that one, but we're all united behind a party that's willing to stand up to the powerful in support of working people.
Under Democrat and Republican presidents, it's become increasingly difficult for working class Americans to afford a home.
Those leaders on either side of the aisle who are willing to put their fellow Americans down so that they can get ahead or feel better about themselves, those folks might best find a home elsewhere.
Progress can be blocked by those who say yes to a progressive objective, but who always find some reason to oppose any special, specific proposal to gain that objective.
Start with shared ground, jobs that relight Main Street. Expand healthcare, step by hard-won step. A party that balances budgets for Wall Street but wipes out the debt-crushing Main Street. It's messy math, visions clash. But between protest signs and policy briefs, a new blueprint could emerge. It's worked before. FDR stitched a patchwork nation. They could thread the needle again. Young energy fuels the engine. Moderate hands steady the wheel. Not just compromise, convergence. But unity's a grind. FDR stitched a coalition, but left civil rights bleeding on the sidelines. Today's unity can't dodge the marginalized again, not when the party's survival hangs on voters it once sold out. Without a clear vision, unity's just camouflage, a way to say nothing, offend no one, and spark even less. The party stands at the knife's edge, preparing to be defined by what it fears losing, or forged by what it dares to become. The question is, will they evolve with purpose or just mutate to survive? Either way, ready or not, something will be born. Drop your prediction in the comments. #DemReveal. What's in the oven?